Welcome to memory test, Superfast class. First question: what is chemical nature of plasma membrane? Lipoproteinous and trilaminar. Why are phospholipid molecules called amphipathic molecule? These have both hydrophilic and hydrophobic groups, so phospholipid molecules called amphipathic molecules. Who coined the term unit membrane? J. David Robertson coined the term unit membrane. Who proposed fluid-mosaic model of plasma membrane? Singer and Nicholson in 1972 proposed fluid-mosaic model of plasma membrane. State the fluid-mosaic model in one line. Protein icebergs in a sea of lipids. Why is plasma membrane called quasi-fluid membrane? Phospholipid bilayer is fluid in nature, in which protein biomolecules also change their position, so plasma membrane called quasi-fluid membrane. Which two types of proteins are present in plasma membrane? Extrinsic protein and intrinsic protein. These two types of proteins, extrinsic protein and intrinsic proteins, present in plasma membrane. Why is plasma membrane called selectively permeable membrane? It allows only selected materials to pass through to selective extent, so it is called as selectively permeable membrane. Name two types of processes involved in transport of materials across the plasma membrane. Active processes and passive processes. These two types of processes involved in transport of materials across the plasma membrane are active processes and passive processes. Why is plasma membrane called a dynamic membrane? A number of transport mechanisms are involved in the transport of materials across the plasma membrane, so it is called a dynamic membrane also. Name various physical processes involved in transport of materials: diffusion, osmosis, dialysis, and facilitated diffusion are the physical processes involved in transport of materials. Name various active processes involved in transport of materials: active transport, pinocytes, phagocytes, and exocytosis. Define diffusion. Give one example of it in a living system. It is transport of materials from higher concentration to lower concentration due to intrinsic kinetic energy of the molecules, that is exchange of oxygen of air and carbon dioxide of blood at the lung alveoli. What is osmosis? Name one experiment by which it can be demonstrated. It is transport of water or any other solvent from lower concentration to higher concentration through a semi-permeable membrane without the expenditure of energy. Osmosis can be demonstrated by potato osmoscope. How does facilitated diffusion differ from simple diffusion? Facilitated diffusion occurs in the presence of carrier molecules, so is faster than simple diffusion. Give one major difference between active processes and passive processes. Active processes include transport of materials in the presence of energy, while passive processes include transport of materials in the absence of energy. What is endocytosis? Name two processes of endocytosis. It is inward movement of macrobiomolecules inside the cell through PM in the presence of energy. Two processes are pinocytosis and phagocytosis. Give one major difference between pinocytosis and phagocytosis. Pinocytosis involves intaking liquid nutrients, while phagocytosis involves engulfing of solid nutrients. Define exocytosis. Give one example of it. It is outward movement of cellular secretions or wastage outside the cell through PM, that is expelling of residual bodies. PM means plasma membrane.